Time to unbreak. Monday, September 28th, 2020. Ah, my finger touched the mic. Oh no! While this is loading, I guess not while this is loading. While this is loaded, I'm going to go get a little bit more water, because I'm running it out. Meanwhile, you folks can enjoy this lovely music and reading things that I'm going to briefly read aloud to you in a moment, because that's so the best use of all of our time. I'm sure that you can't read it faster before I say it, because that's not how the world works or anything. I'm gonna have to actually try doing a Let's Play with an actual game where there's not just me reading shit, but me, like, talking about the shit that I'm trying to do and fucking up with the controller, because that'll be much more amusing than this in a lot of ways. I'll do that soon. Okay, headlines. Military personnel stationed along the East Coast to prevent immigrants flooding in from the Atlantic. Wow, that's unfortunate. Sounds like the US, though, and Canada, for that matter. Werewolf representatives push the ministry for more accessible sedative, understandably. Doctor from Salaktown arrested for experimenting with child cloning. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Salak. I wonder if how I'm pronouncing that wrong. Because I wonder if maybe it's based more on Salish? Perhaps even a more correct spelling and, or, you know, transliteration. And thus, Roman alphabet spelling? Or a less used one? Maybe an archaic one? I don't know, or it could be something else entirely. Something else I would like to look up at some point. Are you sure that would be okay? Yes! I mean, it would be really hard to pull off, but it's something that'll make the story different. Different isn't always good. It's a neat concept, but you need to handle it carefully, and gracefully. I know. Oh, speaking of stories, we have a new short story, before we get into the meat of this. The Anxious Boy and His Love Stories on Public Transport. Again by Freya Fatima. Who else? The day was hot, sunny, and humid, just like most days in Jakarta. I was standing inside a crowded bus, neither well-functioning air... A crowded... Well, what? Okay, yes, I think there is a word missing there. I was standing inside a crowded bus with neither well-functioning air conditioning nor proper ventilation, trying to keep myself productive in the uncomfortable environment by reading my recently bought copy of Maruki Harukami's The Elephant Vanishes, while listening... While listening to a random playlist on my old iPod. Despite the hellish conditions, you could say I was luckier than most, because I was standing near the rear door of the bus, leaning on my back on the side of a seat. Safe enough not to fall out of the bus, breezy enough to breathe freely. As mentioned, I was on a public bus in Jakarta, so naturally I needed to be wary with my surroundings, mostly keeping my belongings secure from pickpockets and other human pests. I have no idea if this is true or not. I know nothing about Indonesia and Jakarta. I glanced around the bus several times in between pages, and that was when I saw her. It's hard to describe her. She has no specific characteristic to differentiate her from other women. It was like the perfect example of the girl you walk past unseeing on the sidewalk every day. A girl you might glance at for a second, and then a few steps later, it would be hard to even remember her hair color, never mind what her eyes, her nose, her mouth looked like. She was standing near the front door of the bus, not leaning on anything or anyone, not touching the bacteria-infested hand grip on the ceiling of the bus, although to be fair, it might have been hard for her to reach that grip anyway. But still, she stood there with the perfect balance of a tree rooted in healthy soil. She stood as if someone had silently put the Venus de Milo on the bus, and she somehow fit perfectly without anyone noticing it happening. She was wearing a pair of earphones, wired, just like headphones were supposed to be, and a slight smile on her face. Sometimes she closed her eyes for a few moments, enjoying the music only she could hear. Her eyes rarely stared in one place. They kept wandering around the bus, not too fast like someone anxious, not too slow like someone looking at something specific. Maybe she's the one, I thought. This isn't the first time a thought like this has crossed my mind. As a hopeless romantic, seeing any woman who piques my interest will immediately trigger a story in my imagination. Wow, this is like literally the opposite of me. Creepy. I mean, you know, people can do what they want in their minds, and I'm just like, ugh, imagining a, like, long life and a romance with someone who I literally have never done anything except briefly laid eyes on. That sounds terrifying. That's not an exercise in fun for me, that's an exercise in a story of how I'll approach them, get to know them, with the proviso that they're just as I imagine them to be. Start dating, get married, have kids, grow old in our home, and so on, and so on. Random cuties, that's what I call them. Unicorns among horses. The term doesn't apply to any cute girls I see, of course. It has to be someone special, or at least someone I imagine to be special. The thing is, automatically imagining those stories whenever I happen across a random cutie isn't healthy. It puts a toll on my mind, and, of course, my heart. It creates a lot of unhealthy expectations before any opportunities even arise. Oh shit! She looked at me. We made eye contact for a brief flash of seconds. I immediately returned to my book. Did she notice me staring at her? Did she see what I was thinking? My mind won't stop spinning, overthinking, while my pulse beats double time in my ears. I continue staring at my book. Sorry. Bleh. My cat distracted me by crawling underneath the dresser. I'm amazed she can fit under there. With what just happened, I obviously can't read it properly. My eyes are looking at the words, but nothing was... it keeps changing tense. That's a pet peeve of mine. My eyes were looking at the words, but nothing was being processed other than thoughts of her. I glanced back at her, and she was staring at me. Eye contact more than once. It has to mean something. Should I approach her and introduce myself? Yes, I should. What if things go wrong? What's the worst thing that could happen if we introduce ourselves? First, it's a crowded bus, and moving from the rear door to the front will definitely annoy some people. Second, what if after we approach her, she becomes annoyed and... Oh, come on. You're overthinking as usual. Nothing bad will happen, even if she does get annoyed. Don't dismiss me. This feels so much like two people talking to each other. It's like the inside of my head. Nothing bad will happen? Well, she might scream and say I'm a pervert, and then the whole bus will beat me to death. Oh, and the worst option? What if we introduce ourselves, and then it turns out she's not like we imagined her to be? All that time and energy will be wasted, exchanged for years of agony. Years? Oh well. Oh, for everything will be fine. Don't worry so much. No matter what happens second, we'll have to try something first. No, there's too much risk. The debate is still raging inside my head, and that's when it happens. We make eye contact again, but this time, it lasts longer than a few seconds. And then, she smiled at me. Just a small curve on those perfectly average, beautiful lips. I quickly returned to my book. See? You have to do something. But, remember the girl with the violin we saw on the train to Yogyakarta a few years ago? Of course I remember. Exactly. She was just a random person that sat across from you on the train. We don't even remember what month it was, and yet we still remember the maroon coat she was wearing, the violin case she put in the overhead compartment, her reddish hair and that pixie cut, her... Stop! That was different. We might have saved ourselves a lot of embarrassment by not talking to her. The thoughts, the noise, the internal dialogue, it won't stop. I was sweating, but not because of the heat. A cold sweat. This has to stop. Stop! I screamed internally. Everything stopped. Everything stopped. And just in time, my old iPod randomly shuffled to Explosions in the Spaces. Explosions in the Spaces. Explosions in the Spaces is the name of the band, but Explosions in the Spaces is... Wow, that's a mouthful. The only moment we were alone. I cranked up the volume, put my book in my bag, and just breathed. Yes, I might lose the chance to meet the one by doing this, but at least, as long as I don't know her, she's perfect. As far as I know, she might be listening to Explosions in the Sky. As far as I know, she might be a big fan of Hirokami and Final Dreams 9. As far as I know, she might be single. As far as I know, she might be the 100% perfect match for me that I believe can't exist if my knowledge of her goes any farther than what I know right now. Well, that's because there's not such a thing as a 100% match for anybody. That's just silly. Besides, as the old saying goes, if it's meant to be, it will be. Oh, bullshit. The bus stopped in front of Plaza Senian, my destination. It was time for me to go. I decided not to look in her direction. As I left, knowing that if I looked at her, it would be the last time I ever saw her. That's too hard for a hopeless romantic like me. I so don't get it. I left the bus and enjoyed the warm sun and the breeze of fresh air. Bleh. Finally out of that mental Schrodinger's box. I trip over his name every time. That's when it happened. I turned my head to the right, and there she was, standing alone, enjoying the breeze. Now she was free of the roasting metal box we humans named bus. Wow, that was bad. She turned her head to the left, showing a glimmer of surprise at seeing me standing there. After that, she smiled. So, if it's meant to be, it will be? I guess. I don't know. Not in the real world. Anyway, Freya's like, "Hey, Gala." Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Gala. Am I interrupting? It looked like you were having an intense discussion. It's nothing. Poison was just giving me feedback. It's for the book I'm writing. Sounds like a heavy discussion. What are you up to tonight? I'm just planning to sit and relax. Please don't let my presence interrupt you. Oh, don't worry about it. Although, I need to interrupt Poison for a moment. Sure, how can I help you? Can I have a cup of... You remember my remedy? Of course. Do you want to give it a try again? My last order didn't quite hit the spot. Remember, it's tea and ginger. The last thing was definitely a different ingredient from either of those. Okay. Remember, it has tea and ginger. I did put in tea and ginger, I just also put in lemon. What's this? Oh, mint. Nope. I thought it might be. Green tea is also tea. Let's try that. It's probably going to tell me it's wrong because I didn't use tea, like black tea, I used green tea. I was like, is this it? ... How is it? Nope. This drink doesn't even follow my guidelines. Far from it. Oh my, pardon for the mistake. What mistake? I used tea and ginger. Green tea is tea. Never mind. Anyway, please don't mind me and continue with your discussion. Don't worry, Mr. Gala. We're done for the night. You're done. I have a lot of new homework thanks to you. You're welcome. Is Hyde coming? No, I'm by myself tonight. It's gonna be a peaceful night then. That's mean, Freya. Oh, come on, I was just joking. Well, it was a mean joke. He needs to learn how to communicate his thoughts nicely, though. Oh my god, stop bitching. That was like, she didn't even say anything to you. He might not look like it, but he's a very kind person, you know. He doesn't show it, that's for sure. Bullshit, he sure does. That applies to you as well. Oh, come on. It doesn't apply to her, she's such a jerk. Don't like her. Bailey's, haven't seen you in a while. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Bailey's. Hey, how are you doing, Freya? Not good. What's going on? Poison was just criticizing my story. It's called feedback. It's cruel. It's necessary. Sounds interesting. What's the problem with the story? The story is non-linear and quite complicated. Imagine a choose-your-own-adventure storybook, but for adults. Oh, those already exist. Those existed for a while. Yeah, sounds pretty common so far. But instead of telling you which page to turn to, each decision you make will give you a score. What? That score will determine which page you should go to. That sounds more like a video game than a book. I know, it's not that original. Yeah, why not just make it a video game then? But my target here is the mainstream audience. You can still make it a game. I mean, I guess it could be a pen and paper game. It kind of is a pen and paper game. You have to write down your score somewhere. Somehow. I assume? Whatever. Anyway, Bailey's is like, huh? With the help of my publisher, this kind of book may go mainstream. Just like that choose-your-own-adventure show on Netstream. Netstream, cute. It's nothing new, but because of the marketing and the names involved, it reached the mainstream market. Sounds interesting, and highly ambitious, Freya. At least it's simpler than my other idea, which is making the novel not in the form of a book. In what sense? You have to publish something. And in the form of story cards, I don't think that your publisher would go for that. Why, indeed. I know, right? As if she has all the time in the world. And that's before even considering the sensitive issue of setting the story in a world where only humans exist. What did you say? Why only humans, though? Why did she go there? Why not only werewolves or only elves? No, there's a reason why it has to be that way. Just wait until I finish it, okay? Alright, alright. As Poison said, though, I won't have the time. Getting a normal pitch approved is already a steep climb. Yeah, no kidding. You don't even technically have a normal pitch approved yet, so yeah, let's not make the mountain even higher. Not bright. Fair enough. What's the story all about, by the way? You'll have to wait for it. Don't want to spoil the fun. If you say so, yeah, you're no kidding if you say so. She's just saying that because she doesn't want you to complain and stop her from doing it up front. Anyway, I haven't ordered anything. What do you want to drink tonight? Ginger latte, if you know how to make it. No, but I think I can guess. Milk, and ginger. Notice in this game, lattes usually 2 milks. Oh, I can't do latte art? Here you go. Are you sure? Yeah. Oh no! Let me say no more. I just wanted to hang around here. Any drink will do. Was that not right? What did he want? Oh wait, did he want coffee in his latte? See, you have to say that anyway. By the way, how are you doing, Baileys? Still busy with your last client? Oh, I'm done with her. Done? As in you're dropping the project? Hey, I'm not crazy. I still need the money. Done as in I've finished the job. I spent the past few days making sure it's even done before the deadline. Did she like it? Oh, she loved it. She had some complaints, of course, but I convinced her. By using some design terms she doesn't understand. So you finished your job by bullshitting her. The finest bullshit, my lady. That's one survival skill every freelancer must have. Are you working on anything right now? Nope. I'm taking a break from work. I need to work on a few personal matters. Oh. ... Like you and Lua? Something like that. By the way, I'm curious, how did you guys meet? If you don't mind me asking. I don't mind. It's just that I was young and stupid, you know? Oh, come on. Who hasn't been there? You're right. So, I was a bit of a player back in college. Ooh, spicy. And I was going after my then best friend's girlfriend's friend. Wait, what? Yeah, that's actually literally what I was thinking. Okay, we'll say it slowly. I used to have a best friend. He was an incubus. Okay. Let's call him Cognac. Cognac has a girlfriend. Still following. And that girl is a friend. The friend is the one I'm after. Oh, okay. Got it. She was one of the hottest girls there. But everyone knew she wasn't the type of girl you'd want to date. Why? I don't want to get into details, but this succubus was super hot. And all the guys wanted to sleep with her. She was a player too. Huh? Doesn't sound like Lua at all. Because it wasn't Lua, genius. Huh? Lua was my friend's girl. Holy moly! This is getting spicier. The other girl's name was... let's just call her Rose. Continue? I knew Lua thanks to her relationship with Cognac. That's a fake name you made up, right? Yes. Now will you let me continue without interruptions? Okay, yeah, for someone who writes for a newspaper, she is a bad interviewer. So I asked Lua a lot of things about Rose. She knew what I was after. It annoyed her so much, and I kept on bothering her. I mean, I was a pretty active guy back then. So Lua came over to visit us at one point. I lived with Cognac back in college. I'd been out, and I got back just as Lua arrived. A total coincidence. We went into our place together, and witnessed something surprising. What? Cognac was sleeping with Rose. Oh, holy mother of moly! I saw the look on Lua's face, the disbelief, anger, sadness, and without even thinking about it, I punched Cognac in the face. You what? I got into a fight with him. Oh, I haven't told you. Cognac was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tutor for kids. He's pretty good. Oh my. Yeah, I landed that one punch, and he beat me to a pulp. Easily. Lua begged me to stop fighting on her behalf. More like she begged Cognac. Hey, I wasn't kidding. I lost, but I don't give up so easily. I was beaten pretty bad, so Lua took care of my injuries. We grew closer after that. And I don't even remember the exact date, but suddenly that friendship turned into a relationship. That was one hell of a story. No. Well, he kind of deserves it for sexually objectifying Rose like that. Have you seen her by any chance? Yeah, Lua came by a few days ago. How is she doing? She hasn't returned any of my calls or texts. Well, she's healthy, that's for sure. She got into an argument, though. With whom? There was this male model. A model? I didn't think she was that type of girl. To go out with a model. Oh, they weren't together. What were they arguing about? Well, we were talking about your relationship. Lua told us the reason behind the fight. About your family stuff. And then this guy, Hi, joined the discussion. I see Gala's finally taking notice of what they're talking about. I assume he heard Hyde's name. What did he say? He didn't understand why Lua would insist on getting family approval. Considering, you know, what? You're willing to leave your own family. You would do that for her? Yes, I would. I'm sick and tired of my family. Why would you say that? Because he's sick and tired of his family. Look, let me tell you about my family, or should I say, most elf families. They all think they're so high and mighty. You're born an elf, there are certain unwritten rules that you must follow. Reputation and appearance are everything. We must never, ever make our family look bad. You can only befriend certain people. You must dress a certain way. You can only have certain jobs. Jobs that are deemed worthy and successful. Like being a doctor, a lawyer, a CEO, you know. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be an artist. I love drawing and creating art. However, becoming an artist is not something elves would deem suitable. Unless you become the next Da Vinci. But Da Vinci was, maybe in this world, Da Vinci was an elf. I don't know. So, when I switched from a business major to an art major, my parents went crazy. Screamed like they were on fire. That's actually a great description. I kind of wish I could hear that. They told me that I'd never be rich or successful. All that because you chose an art degree? You want to know the worst part? They blamed Lua. What do you mean? They blamed her for my decision to pursue my passion for art. Yelled about her kind, how her kind is ruining the country, accusing their religion of worshipping the Dark Lord, accusing her of putting a spell on me and cursing the family. Whoa. I mean, come on, this is the 21st century. That is so not cool. I don't want to sound judgmental, but your family is racist. Well, yeah. As he says, tell me about it. Like, I think he knows. Lua is the only person that can make me feel alive. She showed me how I can be free and pursue my dreams. I don't understand why Lua is so obsessed with the idea of reconciliation with my family. I just don't get it. Yeah, I'm on his side, neither do I. I have no problem leaving my family, you know? I would happily leave them for the both of us. What about her? What about her and her family? You may be happy to leave your family. However, it may not be the same for her. Yeah, and that's her decision to make. Gala, do you have something to say? Perhaps you could give us a different perspective. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I couldn't help overhearing your story. I assume that the person you're talking about is not an elf, correct? Yeah, she's a succubus. I see. I'm a werewolf. For werewolves, the wolf pack is the most important thing. We'll put family before any other. We often have our own problems within the pack, but we won't abandon our family for anything. Perhaps that's also true for her and her family. Besides, if you leave your family for her, wouldn't that make your parents believe that all those bad stereotypes about succubi are true? They're gonna believe that whether he leaves them or not. It doesn't matter if he sticks around his family. They're gonna believe that anyway. You can't change their minds. If they're not willing to change. I never thought of it that way before. Well, you shouldn't think of it that way now either. It makes no sense. Whether you like it or not, your actions will have an impact on her as well. Yeah, but if he decides what he needs to do in regards to his family, and she decides what she needs to do in regard to her family, and they both support each other in those decisions, they could have positive impacts on each other, while still doing the things that they feel are right for them. Otherwise, he'll just presumably grow resentful of the fact that she demanded he maintain a relationship with his toxic family, or she get resentful that though he has never demanded she leave her family, so I don't even see how that would be an issue, but yeah, like, don't go against your instincts so you can be in a relationship with someone who's judging you for doing what you feel is right. That's just fucky. If you leave your family for her, then that will put her in a difficult spot. So he's not leaving his family for her. He's leaving his family and the straw that broke the camel's back happens to be that they are dead set against him being with her, but he's leaving his family because of all the shit that they put him through his entire life. How has he not made that clear? She might feel responsible for your actions. Well, that's her problem, not his. Unless he's making her feel responsible, which he's not, then she isn't responsible. That's her internal shit to deal with. There's nothing to feel bad about. I'm leaving my messy family to create a better one with her. It's easy for you to say that now, but you don't know what the future holds? No, he does. He knows his future holds a better life for him where he doesn't keep in touch with his family anymore. One day circumstances might change. Okay, awesome. That day comes, you can think about rebuilding bridges, but unless his parents are willing to do some fucking work and stop making him jump through hoops to please them, then why wait around hoping for something that's probably not going to happen and keeping yourself in pain? One day, one of you might regret your decisions. Okay, then you can, like, figure out what to do then. I think it's much more likely that they'll regret their decisions if they don't do the things that feel right to them. One day you might use the I left my family for you card. Oh, fuck that. If you really didn't leave your family for the other person, it wouldn't even cross your mind. Unless you're a petty bitch. We love each other. I'll be with her whatever the circumstances may be. You know, love is like a flame. It might burn fiercely at first, but over time it will die down if you don't maintain it. Yeah, that's true, but they've been together for a number of years, so I think they probably already figured that out. Maintaining it won't be easy, it'll be hard work. Because life is full of storms. Marriage, it will not survive on love alone. Yeah, it's a good thing they already have an established relationship and know each other well. Like, what? Whoa, that's deep. It would be if you were talking to people who were, like, still doing the new relationship energy thing, but they've been together for years? We'll have each other, and that's enough for us. Tell me, do you have health insurance? What? I'm an elf. Why would I need health insurance? You'll need some. What for? Immortality is an elven privilege, but you'll lose it if your family disowns you. I've seen people go bankrupt because they fell ill or got seriously injured. Oh yeah, they live in the US. Emptied their entire life savings for an $8 pill because in this country they charge $20,000 for it. Yeah, that's a problem with the country. They could always move to a better country? And if you decide to have children, they won't have the same privileges you do. There's a high probability that they'll get bullied for being a half-breed. There are consequences. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Think about it. That's all true, but I'm technically a half-breed according to my Christian grandparents and my Jewish grandparents, none of whom are with us anymore, thankfully for my mental health. And I'd still rather exist, so... Like, yeah, sometimes I did get bullied in school for being half Jewish. But I'd still rather exist. Anyway, Gala's gotta go, and apologizes for his intrusion. No, thank you for your insight. Really? I've gotta go too. Don't listen to him, Baileys. Wanna head out together? No, don't. No, don't say sure. You're not welcome for the drink tonight, Gala. You gave really shit advice. And Freya? Why are you thanking her? She didn't do anything. She just sat there and said shitty things about your friend. Bye, Baileys. Good luck. Don't listen to him. He's full of shit. He's totally projecting. Okay, I'll stop. ... indeed. What? You made me lose 2 customers in a minute. Hey, that wasn't on me. They were leaving anyway. Are you gonna write that in your book? I don't understand. Okay, I don't like Freya, but I don't see how she made them leave. Like, Bailey's just had to go, and then Gala decided to go too, or Gala had to go and Bailey's, I forget. I don't see how Freya had anything to do with it. Anyway, Freya's like, it's a secret. If your book is based on this coffee shop, how can you present a story like theirs in a world with only humans around? I'm not sure. Perhaps a hot drink will give you some inspiration. Sounds like a great idea. I just want her to pay for more drinks. Bed chamber. A cup for those longing for a deep slumber. Wonder what the heck goes in that. And that is where I shall break for now. Wonder how far I am through the game. Gosh, I really hope that option was the right button to push to check that. Seemed to make sense. Oh, god damn it. I was gonna break there. I just wanted to see how much progress I made in the game. Okay, whatever. I am going to stop recording for now. I am not going to read those headlines, so I can't actually make them go away right now. But yeah, you probably already read them. But we'll pick up here, and I will read them out loud next time. I like the eyes on the moon.